zero tolerance. We are talking about what some managers tolerate but shouldn't with Eric Bryan. He is the owner of one of the leading air conditioning companies in the Southwest, top ranked.
Yeah.
There are so many companies out there who put up with things from their employers, from their customers, things that you absolutely do not tolerate. Talk about your military discipline.
Well, you know, it's a lot easier in the military, right? Because in the military, it's pretty much black and white. It is what it is. That's the way it is, and ain't nothing you're going to do to change it. So get over it and figure it out, right? That makes things a lot simpler. But, you know, if you really think about that, you know, in any kind of depth at all, that's really the same mentality that you should have in any business. And I think for me, I mean, I have plenty of people that would tell you I'm a hard guy to work for. And I think the reason why they would tell you that is because I'm very exact. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly how I want it. And ultimately, that's what I'm paying for people to produce for us, right? Mm-hmm. And we really don't have a whole lot of tolerance outside of that. I see a lot of companies, or I shouldn't say companies, but a lot of the other owners that I know that are really willing to accommodate their employees a lot. And that's really a dangerous place to get, is once you accommodate something for somebody, you got to be willing to accommodate for somebody else. And in an organization where you have multiple hundreds of employees, now you're just running all over the place trying to put out fires. So accountability and structure is something that every organization needs. And there's always that one person that's the final say. That one person that really, and it happens to be me at my company, that can't waver on that, right? One of the key things that happens in the military, everything that they do is fair. Sometimes maybe not so much, right? But it's always logical, and most importantly, it's very, very consistent. You can set your watch by it. You know what I mean? And I think with my employees and with my management staff, one thing that doesn't waver for me are the expectations that I have about any given, you know, program or event we have going on. Everything's planned out, it's laid out, the expectations are there, and then my ultimate expectation is that it happens that way.
And I'm sure your team really respects and understands that discipline because they know day to day it's going to be like this. Talk about how you translate your discipline style, your Marine background, into your policy. How do they receive what you have to say?
Sure.
And how do you make sure that you're consistent?
Well, that's a great question. And the thing about that is there's, depending on who you're dealing with in your organization, you have to curve your approach, right? I tell my management team all the time, it's our responsibility as managers to find a way to communicate with our employees. It's not their responsibility to find a way to communicate with us. That's our job. So the way that we present things, depending on who we're presenting it to, does change the way we present it. I mean, ultimately, I'm pretty straightforward. I like clear expectations. I would much rather somebody go, man, that guy's awful direct, versus go, I really don't know what he wants.
Wishy-washy.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's wishy-washy, right? I would much rather have that, and we do have that. So implementing that into the people at our company is really just a matter of identifying who you're dealing with, right? Whether it's a group or an individual, and curving that approach to suit the communication level that needs to happen for it to be successful.
All right, so give our managers and those owners out there who are watching some examples of things that they should not be tolerating, but likely are.
Well, it's like my dad always said, direct disobedience is something that's going to get your ass busted right away, right? So for employees, people, you know, knowingly and directly not doing their job cannot be tolerated. There's just no room for that. Dishonesty, theft, things that you would logically think there should be no tolerance for that. But ultimately, holding everybody accountable to the expectations that are there, the accountability and the discipline behind that has to be consistent.
And you too, carrying that torch as well.
Well, most importantly, me, right? If I'm wavering at the top, right? If I'm wishy-washy, then the whole ship sinks.
Do you feel zero tolerance will yield a better outcome and better results for companies?
Always. Always.
All right, zero tolerance. There it is.